Using tHRive Forms, I've actually configured a process that will create the position and hire the employee into it at the same time. So I'm going to select this process from my list of available configured processes and proceed to the next stage of the roadmap where the form will appear. As you may be aware, if you've seen tHRive Forms before, the entire content of the form is configurable through the SAP backend. The layout of the form is in a technology called Webdynpro, which is the same technology used in other SAP self-services for human capital management. So you can see the form is composed of a number of sections, and currently I'm filling out the sections detailing the new position. These details, the org unit, the details of the position name and abbreviation, the job it relates to and whether or not it's a chief position, will be used when the position is created. I can also, if I desire, enter a position description. This is a longer text description of the tasks associated with that position. Now when this form is sent, I'm using a simplified process here, so there won't be a workflow approval, although there could have been. The data will be immediately saved into your SAP system. So now I'm proceeding down to enter some of the employee details. You can see I've restricted to a bare minimum here, so I'm recording the employee's name, their date of hiring, the date of birth, and a few basic details of their contract. Now the form is generating a new personnel number for me on each occasion that I use it, and what it will do from a data perspective is once I check and send the form, it will create the position and then automatically move the employee into that new position. So you can imagine if you were doing this using transactions in the SAP GUI, you would be going through a large number of screens. You'd be going first through organizational maintenance to create the position. Secondly, you'd be going through personnel actions and a number of screens to create the person. So we can simplify all of this to one simple process, which just gives you an example of the power of using a form to combine different pieces of data entry. So I'll finish selecting the basic details of the employment contract for the employee, and I can check the form. I can also add attachments to the form if I so choose. Got a message at the top saying there's no errors with the data that I've entered. And now I'm going to make an attachment. So a suitable attachment for this kind of process would be, for instance, the employment contract of the employee. Okay, or it might also be an approval to hire, so an approval to create the position. Or it could be details from a recruiting system, for instance, a copy of the candidate profile. So you can see the attachments button is now updated. It's got a little 1 in brackets indicating there's one attachment with this process. I'll go through to the confirmation screen where again it just checks all the data. I've got no errors, so I'll click save and the form is now sent. I've got a reference number so I can use form-based reporting for it, and I close that window and the system will now automatically update that data. So I'm briefly going to navigate into the tHRive HCM admin console. So this is basically a tool for allowing me to view and maintain employee records, rather like PA30 from the SAP GUI. So I select by name, I could select by number, or I could search by organizational details. There's the new record that is created, Peter Evans. You can see the data boxes appear lower on the screen. You can see in the personal information box and the contract box I've got some basic details. Now obviously the rest of the record could be filled out by an employee in SS, or you could have a longer form than the one that I've shown you. If I go to the organizational tab, here you can see the details of the hiring action that we have just created, of the organizational assignment record, that's infotype 1, that's been created. If I want to, I can drill into this record and have a look at the fields and the drop downs and so on. So that brings us to the end of this demonstration, but hopefully I've shown you how easy and rapid it can be to enter multiple pieces of data using a tHRive HCM form.